my God.
Oh, how you did? No. Every way, everything.
I no fit shake you. Corona water, you know they read.
Now believe this corona. You no fit touch black man. If you like, gather the whole Niger, come together, make the cough. Nothing.
Which one you want?
Give me V&D.
Aha. I beg, get small pieces.
How much you want to give him?
Give me 200. Take your change now, Ruby.
No day town. No worry, that's
My people, this coronavirus, na serious matter. You see this virus, so it no get leg. Now we dey waka kurukere, no waka around make the virus for die. No forget say the betterment of our people. Now for your handy day.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Hello viewers, this is National Orientation Agency Rivers State Nigeria. Welcome to NOA Rivers State Dialogue. You can stream live with us on our Facebook page and YouTube. On this platform every Friday, 11 a.m., we bring you discussion as part of our mandate, the mandate of National Orientation Agency. We bring you discussion that informs, educates, and sensitizes you on topical national issues. And we also entertain feedback from you in form of questions, suggestions, and comments. My name is Ellis Uriadapa. Welcome to our program. I'm the host for today. Last week on this program, we discussed issues on democratic dividends and alleviation of poverty in Nigeria. It was very interesting. If you missed that program, please go back to our Facebook page or YouTube. You have an opportunity to watch it again. Today we are going to discuss another very important topic. We have a topic: national gas policy and domestic gas pricing in Nigeria. And I have very important personalities in the studio here to discuss the topic with us. I have with me the president of National Association of Surface Tank and Gas Retailers of Nigeria, His Excellency, Royal Highness, Professor, Ambassador, Engineer ONYECHE Promise OBINNA, the Eze Ikemba one, Onyeshi Ulakwa Aburushi, Ancient Kingdom of Eche ethnicity here in Rivers State. I was made to understand that His Excellency is also a National Merit Award designate. Very soon, he will be giving CFR. Congratulations, sir. And you are welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Also, also with us is another member of the National Association of Surface Tank Oil and Gas Retailers Association of Nigeria. He is Barrister KESSIGHTON OKORIE. He is the committee chairman, International and Community Relations Committee. Barrister, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Back to our business. Today, I've told you the topic. We are going to discuss about the national gas policy and how it affects the domestic gas pricing in Nigeria. Nigeria is said to have the 9th largest proven gas reserve in the world at 187 trillion cubic feet. Because of this enormous gas reserve in the country, Nigeria came up with the national gas policy to transform Nigeria from crude oil export-based economy to an attractive oil gas-based economy. A situation where Nigeria will use gas to facilitate growth in various sectors of our economy. When we talk about electricity, we talk about agriculture, we talk about industry, we talk about transportation, and so many other sectors. So if we go into discounts, it will also facilitate growth in many of these areas. So, Your Excellency, you're a fan of many facets. You are a prof, you are an engineer, you are what I say here, an expert,
a traditional
ruler, an expert in oil and gas.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about the national gas policy as it relates to or concerned to domestic gas in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you. Once again, I appreciate our audience, the good and peace-loving people of Rivers State. I appreciate Nigerians generally, because this project is anchored on a platform, the National Orientation Agency, which is a national agency. I, His Excellency King Professor Ambassador ONYECHE Promise OBINNA, the National President, National Association of Surface Tank Oil and Gas Retailers of Nigeria, Ezekemba Initial Olakwa Appreciation Kingdom, the ethnicity here in River State, bring you royal blessings once more as you find this section an interactive, educative, expository section where some insightful policies of governance is being brought to bear to the public light for proper understanding and proper synergy and alliance towards effective growth of our economy, our society, and our people. However, the national gas policy have been in existence. We had the first section of the policy in 2003 that was in existence for a period of time, and it was discovered that the previous policy did not really impact positively in the economic statutory challenges of Nigeria. So in 2017, June to be precise, the Assembly, the Federal Assembly, which is the chamber of lawmaking in the Federation, did it very necessary to review the 203 gas policy in Nigeria and passed, the 2017 national gas policy, which is what is on ground now. And in the policy, it tends to encourage more investment in the gas sector because it is discovered that Nigerian gas reserve is ranked as the 9th most blessed reserve in the world. We are having 188 cubic million gas reserve that is even much larger than the crude oil reserve we have in Nigeria. And we have been so concentrated with exploration of crude for years since the discovery of crude oil in Nigeria. We have engaged much energy in crude, we have engaged much strength on crude. But now the government discovered that since we have such massive reservation of gas, in order to balance the economy and create stability in the oil and gas sector, it is wise we invest also in the gas sector. So that is what brought about the national gas policy. And the gas policy is a policy that tends to encourage investment in the gas sector, that tends to create avenues where Nigerians or foreign investors can come in and invest. Is a policy that does not create a permanent regulatory, a kind of a permanent regulatory phase for gas pricing. It creates an atmosphere where you can come in, invest, now explore and export. Now, one of the key policies of government that encourage national gas policy is to create an atmosphere where Nigeria can be ranked as one of the most gas exporting nations. So, and why is it so? We live in a country where importation ranks ahead of exportation. And that is why the price of dollar could not to rank high against the price of naira, because our percentage of export as regards import is like 80 to 20. The only major thing we export in Nigeria is crude. Now, government decided to say, okay, let's create a synergy where we can export gas to complement our export volume as against the crude, And that gas policy was enacted. The policy, irrespective of the fact that the national was made in 2017, the publicity, the awareness, the business euphoria platforms and all that is to encourage this policy will be the focus of our discourse today, because the policy has been there since 2017. So why is the policy not driving the sector properly or adequately? So those are the things that will form the discourse we are to have today. But the policy is on ground. It centers on encouraging investors in the gas sector, making the world to know that Nigeria has massive gas reserve that needs to be tapped into, and creating an atmosphere where there will be no much bureaucratic, setups that will discourage investors. It creates a free flow avenue where people come in, invest, let us.
Your Highness, if I may come in here, we talked about the provisions of the in the PIA,
yes,
the Petroleum Industrial
Act. Yes.
There are some provisions for gas.
Yes.
And you are also telling us that in the national gas policy,
yes,
there are also provisions for gas. What is the relationship?
Now, what happened is this. The PIB, before the passage into Act now, which is PIA, was an agitation for years. And tried to get the PIB into an act that could be implemented by the oil and gas sector of the economy. It was a challenge. For you to have an act is more difficult than to have a policy. Policy are avenues, are machineries, thereby government intentions are driven. That is government policy. Now, when government saw that the act of PIB, the Petroleum Industrial Bill, to become an act, has a lot of political undertone, has a lot of ethnical challenges, has a lot of ownership issues. Now, government generated a policy to encourage investment in gas.
Okay.
Now that the PIB has been passed into law, which is now PIA, it has absorbed some of the intricacies of the national gas policy. Because national gas policy is an extraction of the inclusion of the gas policies in PIB. Like we want to build a house, for the fact that we don't have the totality of the resources to build a skyscraper, we decide to build a bungalow, also making provision for the skyscraper to be built. Now, when the skyscraper is built, now have in mind that the activities of the bungalow becomes, irrelevant, because the skyscraper now absorbs that of the bungalow. So the national gas policy is like a bungalow compared to the Petroleum Industrial Act, which encompasses the activity of the gas policy.
Okay.
Now it is a plus for the passage of the PIB, which is now PIA, and that of the policies of the national gas policy.
Gas policy.
So it is now a dual leverage for investors to come in, having the leverage of the national gas policy and the bogus motherhood leverage of the Petroleum Industrial Act.
Okay, Barrister, let me continue. Do you think that the enactment of these laws and policies is in any way impacting on the availability of cooking gas in the open market?
Definitely yes. One cannot say definitely yes, because it's a concomitant. They are in concomitants of actions. They relate to one another, because it is from what the government does that trickles down to the generality of the people. I also want to lay a little credence to what His Excellency said, Ezekemba. That's about the taking off of gas regime in Nigeria that is ranked among the first 9 highest gas reserves. If you check, if you reflect back, you find out that before 1999, gas in Nigeria was not taken seriously. Every gas that came in the course of production amongst the IOCs, that is the likes of Shell, Chevron, all of them, they just flake they flare everything, they throw it into the atmosphere, almost 100%. So around 1999, the government felt that these gas who can do better. Instead of flaring the natural gas, let us put them into use for the generality of everybody.
But we are still flaring gas in Nigeria.
Yes, I'll come to that. We are still flaring gas, yes, but in a very reduced aspect of it. Because there are some reactions from the government upon any IOC that flares gas. So they put a lot of payment on them.
So they are paying?
Yes, they are paying, yes. For the quantum of gas you're flaring, you're paying into the government coffers. So because of that, none of the IOCs wants to flare again. So they have a policy of flare down, whereby either reduction or total non-availability of anything to flare again. So in that, starting from 1999, the government began to let the IOCs and all the participants in oil and gas to know that this gas should be put into use. And that was what evolved what they call DOM gas. That's domestic gas usage. And because of that, they began to look at the ways where they are going to go into the internal usage of it. So places like the fertilizer companies, places like the power industry, like the AFAM project, for instance, that was done in 2005 between AFAM 6 that was done by SPDC, by Daewoo and the other company that did the GRF, the gas receiving facility at Dodre. So they began to do it and powered the AFAM 6 and drew about 725 megawatts into the national grid. So you can see, so all these things are coming out of that event of the policy that this gas should be put into use. Now, you can see like in Otta, you can see the IOCs are powering the industries and the domestic use. Here in Aba, the SNG, Shell Nigerian Gas, for instance, they are powering the gas to the industries and companies who are using it, even here in Port Harcourt. So that is a conscious policy that was done by the government. And these are to cushion the effects of what gas means to the common man, so that the common man can use it, the industries can use it, will have enough. Then, of course, NLNG was put into place. Trains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now there's a preparation to start train 7 and whatnot. So if you look at this, you see that there is a very strong policy by the government which has evolved to where we are.
Okay, let me, Your Excellency, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, you know,
we are talking about the availability of this open gas in the open market.
Thank you. You know, like I said, that the essence of government policies is to drive the agenda of citizenry welfare. The focal point of governance is welfare of the people. Whatsoever you do that does not impact positively on the masses is rated as a non-practicable policy. Now, the national gas policy, like the committee chairman on community and international relations, Barrister KESSIGHTON, said, is a policy that is very stringent on gas flaring. It is highly stringent on gas flaring, and for the fact that no company wants to pay, compensation on air pollution, they have, driven down to converting the flaring gas into dumb gas, which is domestic gas. And one thing in Nigeria which I always emphasize is the inability of the agencies of government, the inability of the parastatals that are so entrenched with the responsibility of effective discharge of policies of governance to live up to expectation. Sometimes we play to the gallery. We can quote that Nigeria is producing gas 70%, but when it comes to practicality, we are not even hitting up to 30%. We want to overrate ourselves on instances that when it comes to practicality, there are issues. So now the gas policy came into bed. Companies are still flaring gas. but by the articles of the policy, it should be zero gas flaring.
Okay.
Now, if companies, the multinational, put this policy into adequate implementation, now invest more in converting the flared gas into dump gas, you will see that there will be more product availability for domestic use, because it's practically dump gas.
Your Excellency.
Yes.
So why do you think these companies take leisure in flaring this gas instead of making it available for the people?
Now, let me give you an instance. I am a building material dealer, and my concentration has been on cement, because I know cement is a quick win. I bring it in and it goes. There is no further processing of cement for me to sell it. Are you getting me? Yeah. Unlike iron ore, when I extract iron ore, it takes a more industrialized process for me to get the elements of iron to become a tensile steel or whatever material for construction. You see that I am going to spend more in processing the iron ore than the cement. Production of cement is cheaper and it's easier. So in gas, the IOCs spend more in converting gas than in exploring crude. Are you getting the politics there now? So they have already, from the onset, had the machineries on ground to explore crude oil. Now the policy is driving them into further infrastructural development, further exploration enhancement to ensure that the flare gas does not flare again. From the distillation to the tunnel to everything, there are more engineering inclusions to ensure that the gas doesn't flare. So some of them are finding it difficult to overwhelmingly go into this infrastructural enhancement. And that is why some gas are still flaring. Not that there is no profit in the gas business, there is. But this culture of not taking things serious is what is killing Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, if the IOCs take it serious, since the government has made a policy that no gas should be flared, and the agencies of governance that is responsible to monitor this flaring does their job intact, the IOCs will be forced to ensure that.
But we said here that they pay fine to the federal government.
Who raised the fine?
I'm coming.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, the fine.
Who raised the fine? Who enforces the fine? The agencies of governance.
So
do you know whether there is a hand of vessel?
So don't you think that the fine is so small that they can decide to flay and pay?
No.
Why can't the government make it very, very drastic?
The fine is not small. There is no fine that is small when it comes to fine. No fine is small. The only thing is that the agency that is so responsible for monitoring and implementation is where the problem is.
I think they are hearing us.
Clearly, I am the national president, National Association Surface Tank Oil and Gas Retailers of Nigeria. I am Ezekemba, one and ancestral king. That speaks the truth and nothing but it.
Let's go for a break and take our correspondent from Port Harcourt City.
Thank you.
Japa the Senior. My name is Olu Samson. I am coming from the office of the National Orientation Agency, Rivers State. I am the Community Orientation and Mobilization Officer, Port Harcourt City Local Government, and of course, the treasure base of the nation. I am reporting live from Rivers State University, here in Ipolu, Oroworuko community in Rebisi town. And the report is focused on national gas policy and domestic gas in Nigeria.
With me here is Mr. Kingsley.
Mr. Kingsley
Amehule.
Mr. Kingsley Amehule, what have you got to say about national gas policy and domestic gas pricing in Nigeria? You're welcome.
Gas that we have